السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين ونصلي ونسلم على عبد المصطفى الطهر الطاهر العلم الظاهر المنصور المؤيد أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الذين أذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل Muhammad. We are giving the second installment, lesson number 2, regarding Tafsir of the Holy Quran, and we started already with Surah Al-Fatiha, the beginning chapter or the opening chapter as it is being translated. As we've said the last time, we prefer the word actually the inaugurating chapter. Surah Al-Fatiha, as we have said, just to recap in a few words, Surah Al-Fatiha differs from all the other surahs in the Holy Quran, in its content and in the meaning of it as well. You have Surah Al-Fatiha introducing Tawheed first, and then the second part of it, if we can say so, and that is how to talk to Allah, how to converse with Allah, how to communicate with Allah, as Allah says there in Surah Al-Fatiha, Iyyaka na'bud wa iyyaka nasta'in, and then Allah says Ihdina Sirat. So we have said that also this surah is both Makki and Madani, and it was revealed on 2 occasions in both these 2 cities. Makki meaning it was obviously revealed on the night of Mi'raj, that is the first instance, and the second instance where Surah Al-Fatiha was mentioned again, and that was when the Qibla was changed. So it is both Makki and Madani, and it's very interesting to note that it is meant actually for all the 2 occasions. The occasions where Allah needs to be introduced, and that is your Makki situation, where there is hardly any mu'mineen at the time. So here Allah introduces Himself, Tawheed, etc., inviting us, encouraging us, admonishing us to come to the worship of one God. After humanity, before Anbiya, humanity didn't get it right. We used to worship all other things, all other idols, etc., and things we are taking to be as a God. And then Hazrat Ibrahim salamullah alayhi, as we know, is the father of Tawheed, and he brought Tawheed to us, and Allah reinforces that in Surah Al-Fatiha, which we will dissect some of the words now. And then for a believing society, the society that now already accepted Tawheed, your Madani society, and there is where Allah is also addressing Surah Al-Fatiha, where, as we've said, that Surah Al-Fatiha as well is very important. We've said that some of the ulama are of the view that, now let us come to the Bismillah, before we will now, inshallah, go to every word of it. Some of them say that it is part of the surah, and some of them are saying it is not part of the surah. And these are the differences amongst the Mufassirin about the Bismillah. We would want to highlight here an important point, and that is there are 114 surahs, of which Surah Tawbah do not start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and that is the 9th surah. If we accept that Bismillah is actually not part of a surah, then that is a problem. That means Quran is then less 113 ayats. And that is a problem. Okay, so we just want to say that these are some of the questions that were raised because of certain opinions of some of the Mufassirin. Surah, then, Bismillah is also very important because it serves as a separator between surahs. Let us just say, the Holy Quran as we have it today, the numbering, for example, the punctuation, that did not exist originally. So these were the things that were added. Remember, it's not part of Quran, obviously, but to make it in book form, to make it in, if we can say so, in that order. So the numbering, it did not exist at the time. We added it, but not with the intention that it is part of the Holy Quran, obviously, just to give us a numbering system, etc. So we want you to know that in the sense that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim serve as a separator between the 113 surahs. That's very important. Now let us go to the word ba, as we've said, by aid of, by virtue of, and it also means to accompany, bimusahaba or bi-isti'ana, to implore, to seek assistance, to seek help. And it's always when you are seeking assistance, seeking help, it's always from a lesser phenomena, which is insan, to a powerful, to a more enabled phenomena. But in this case, because we start with Bismillah, we've said that by aid of, by virtue of, by accompany, let it accompany. So immediately there is that acknowledgement that insan is as compared to Allah Azza wa Jalla Jalala, that insan is a lesser being. Insan is an inferior being. There is ala tulillah, there is, if we can say so, I'm now trying to translate vertical axis, So here are we, and Allah is there. We are the Safil, Allah is the Al-Ali, as it is also one of his sifat, So, immediately when Holy Quran was revealed to insan, so Allah already introduces insan as you going to need who? Me, Allah. You're going to need Allah. Allah already introduced that. By virtue of the Ba'al isti'ana or Ba'al musahaba as it is. So we are in the Ba of seeking assistance, seeking help. And the Ba also of that help and assistance must accompany you. It's not going to leave you at some point in time. So you are imploring. Then let us go to the word of ism, Bismillah, ism, by the name of Allah, as it is translated, and that is obviously correct. Walillahi asma'ul husna, to Allah belong all the asma'ul husna, and Allah is the first and only reality. Everything else is, as we've said, an appendix. Everything else is secondary. Allah is the first that is real. Allah is real. Allahu haq. Allah is real. Allah is real, and Allah is also the truth. So that's the first meaning of the word ism. The other meaning of the word ism, and this is in sarf, as we have said, ism comes from the word simhun, sin, mim, waw, simhun, like nisfun, like for example, udwun, and because of the woe, and the woe has changed and has turned into a hamzatul wasl, and you know obviously this also in tajweed. So you have there the meaning of it, and this is a very beautiful meaning. Instead of the word in addition to, rather let me say in addition to the word ism, bismillah, in the name of Allah, which is correct, but also the other meaning of the word ism comes from the word sumu. Sumu means majesty. In the majesty of Allah, and that gives a very beautiful taste, a very beautiful meaning. And now, in the majesty of who? In the majesty of Allah. So you are asking, you are beseeching, you are asking for the help of the majesty of who? Allah Jalla Sha'na. So you are asking for the help, and that help is musahaba. It accompanies. It does not leave you. So you are immediately imploring who? The Creator. And Allah is the real one that exists. All of us, everything you see is an appendix, is a manifestation, is an extension. And we say this, please, in inverted commas, because Allah is not physical. There is no physical extension as we are, like an extension lead, for example, an electric lead, but in a multidimensional way, in an interdimensional way, in a non-physical way. We are all a manifestation of Allah. Everything you see is a manifestation of Allah, a creation of Allah. And everything you see actually, as it is in our tasawwuf and in our irfan, everything you see is Allah Azza wa Jalla Jalala, and He expresses Himself in various forms. He has created those forms. So because there's nothing to make everything from. If we are separated, which is impossible. But just for argument's sake in the mind, nothing exists outside, and outside is also, we put it in inverted commas, because nothing is outside of Allah. Allah is all that is. And that's why you have the hadith of Ma'sumin, Salamullah alayhi, especially Imam Hassan, where it was asked, and can I perform sin? Then Imam Hassan, Salamullah alayhi, says, yes, you can perform sin, but on 2 occasions. If you can be successful in 2 occasions, then you can do it. You do it in such a way, number 1, you do it in such a way that Allah is not present. So every way, in every molecule, every atom, Allah is there, but not by what you call it, physicality. Allah does not have a body, and you do it in such a way that Allah does not see the second part. So if you can be successful in those 2 occasions, then so what does that give you? What does that tell you? That Allah is omnipotent and omnipresent, Everywhere you go, everywhere you see is the presence of Allah. Is Allah Azza wa Jalla Jalala Jalla Sha'na. And with this, we say with the ba, you also implore tabarruk, blessings. And more so when it concerns, you are imploring the Creator. You are beseeching the Creator. You are asking the Most High. And because you ask the Most High, like say it by, when you call upon Allah, Allah Jalla Sha'na, as Allah says, it is now impossible for Allah not to listen to you. As if Allah is now paying attention to you. I'm saying this in a human form because you don't need to have these human experiences to get the attention of Allah. Leave those for, in Kalam and in Tawheed and in Aqaid, when we will deal with those issues, inshallah. So here already the ba means tabarruk, means barakah. You are imploring that what you are doing must be showered, must be under the umbrella and in the lap of the blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal, Jalla Sha'na. So here we have it already, when Allah introduces Himself, Bismillah, Allah Azza wa Jal, Jalla Jalala. Surah Al-Fatiha is a surah of many blessings, tabarruk. Here you have Surah Al-Fatiha, where Allah is now introducing His book. But there are 113 other surahs that is following Al-Fatiha. So here Allah is inaugurating. Allah is having like a mission statement, like a vision and a mission. And all of that is encapsulated where? In Al-Fatiha. It is in Surah Al-Fatiha. Surah Al-Fatiha has and is special. In it is shifa. In it is what? Shifa, healing, as Holy Prophet said. That Al-Fatiha Al-Kitab, shifa min kulli da. Fatiha Al-Kitab is healing for every type of sickness. Because when you look at Asma al-Husna, as we say literally 99 names, it is more than that obviously, but for our culture and tradition we have it 99 names, no problem. All of those sifat exist in the name or the word Allah Jalla Sha'na. If we look, for example, at Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Jabbar, Al-Khaliq, Al-Musawwir, Al-Bari, all the sifat exist in where? The word or the name Allah. That's why we call it in Arabic Lafdul Jalala. It is the most exalted name in Arabic and the closest meaning to the Creator. There is no other name for the Creator in Arabic other than Allah. Allah is unique because it encapsulates all the attributes, all the sifat is in there. And you cannot make that name plural, unlike English, the gods. No, Allah remains Allah. And He is Sha'an, He is, He is Jalilu Sha'an, He is elevated and the Most High. Fatiha al-Kitab is also, as it is termed, the Asas al-Quran. It's the basis of the Holy Quran. All the other 113 surahs, blessed surahs, they are encapsulated. How? If you can take an umbrella is Al-Fatiha, and under the umbrella you put all the other 113 surahs. Al-Fatiha is like that. So we've said already that Al-Fatiha is Makki as well as it is Madani. Then we have said that some of the ulama, they have branched out. They have difference of opinion whether Bismillah is part of the surah or not. And if we say that Bismillah, and here's important point as we've mentioned earlier, if you say that Bismillah is not part of the surah, that means 113 ayats is then less, and that is a problem, big issue. And we have some, for example, a hadith where we will allude to that, inshallah. We want to say also, we don't want to take too much of the time. The Holy Quran is also, there are certain things we want to voice here that Quran warns us, ulama warns us about tafsir bil-ra'i, tafsir that you conjure up in your mind and you do not follow the due protocol or the processes that you're supposed to follow when it comes to the tafsir. When it comes to tafsir, we said you do not bring your thoughts, your culture, your education, your traditions, your beliefs, your world views, and now impose it. And then based on that, now you want to extract. No. You come to Holy Quran pure, without any attachment. And with that, you will be inspired to understand the Quran in your own capacity. We would like to put a disclaimer here as well, that humanity as a whole and as a collective, if they gather together, all of them cannot understand and fathom the infiniteness of the Holy Quran, because Allah is Haqqul Mutlaq, is infinite. Allah, there is no limit. So this limited mind and this limited brain, with its own mandate to protect insan, cannot fathom the wholeness of Allah Azza wa Jalla Jalala. So what we call it limitedness or finiteness is incapable to fathom and to understand infinity. But inshallah, that little which Allah is giving us, and we are inspired by it, that little is that we are sharing. Then there are certain things as well which we want to allude to, and we will continue next week. Where does the name Allah come from? We will explain that in the next installment. And then there's a lot of talk and very interesting discussions around about that. And then we will go to Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, and so on, inshallah. Step by step, little by little, we will dissect every word in the Holy Quran in our own ability, in our own capacity, albeit limited, albeit extremely restricted, because of the simple fact that this feeble mind cannot fully fathom the Holy Quran, which is, then the Holy Quran is full of lessons for insan in humanity. For example, Quran, there's a lot of stories in the Holy Quran, as we have beautiful stories. For example, Nabi Yusuf, for example, a whole surah mentioned about Nabi Yusuf. Beautiful stories, as Allah says that He has revealed ahsan al-qasas, the best of stories in the Holy Quran. There's ethics as well, there's morality as well, there's laws in the Holy Quran, the fiqh laws, just to give an example, the laws of inheritance, for example, mentioned in the Holy Quran. Then there's esoterics in the Holy Quran as well. There is science in the Holy Quran as well. And Quran is full of grammar, of prose, of eloquence, and that you will find in the linguistic field, and we will inshallah deal with all of those inshallah. Next week we will continue. This again is a small installment. We will continue next week again And every time, let us say here, we're not here to finish a particular syllabus in a particular time. We want to be free of that we will do this to the best of our ability and to explain it to the best of our ability. The English, the medium here, which is English, obviously deriving from the Arabic, and then may Allah inshallah guide us, protect us. May Allah open up our hearts to the Holy Quran. May Allah let the Holy Quran guide us in our actions, in our dealings, in our understanding, in our ibadah, in our belief, in everything. Let the Quran be first and foremost, inshallah. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin.